Hey, Tommy Danielsen here with the Miles and Points Report. I am here with Jamie Larounis, and today we're going to chat a little bit about something interesting that happened earlier this week with Marriott Hotels. And that is that they had Marriott used to have a partnership that's, I would say it's fairly new, right, Jamie?
I have never stayed in a Sonder hotel, so I'd have to think it's pretty new.
It's like a couple of years, maybe, or not even that. I think that. So, what do we will explain what Sonder is kind of an extended stay hotel. So,
That's
if
what
you have business or you have a medical thing or you're visiting family or your wife throws you out and you need a place to crash until you get a lease somewhere and things like that. Is that pretty accurate?
that's the way I understand it. It's kind of like a more homey residence inn, I guess I'd put it.
Right. And what I kind of want to focus. Let's talk about first what happened. So on Sunday this week, it's the news started to trickle in and all of these. There's a lot of Facebook groups and other on Reddit where people were talking about being kicked out of. Wow, stock market's not doing well today. They were talking about. We saw reports coming in of people being thrown out of Sonder hotels on Sunday. And it turns out that everybody, all the people through Marriott who had booked through Marriott on the Marriott website as Marriott elites or Marriott clients, got an email where it said that they had to vacate no later than Monday at 9 a.m. That was the first message that came out. And as you can see, this is some photos that have been taken inside of a hotel. So what practically happened here is that Marriott immediately terminated immediately terminated the agreement with Sonder for default. It said maybe they obviously owed Marriott money, and it happened on a Sunday. And we saw I saw this lady who had been in New York. She had prepaid a month to stay for a work trip. And she was 3 weeks into her stay. And she had 1 week. The week we are in now was her final week for a work consulting gig, looks like, or whatever, in New York. And she was at the Sonder Hotel. She was at her office when she got the message. She went back to the hotel and started packing. And the site that met her was medical people who were there for medical treatment who stay there, guys in wheelchairs that were thrown out, booked through Marriott, and also normal people that might not have like this lady enough credit on your card or money in the bank to book another hotel and wait for a refund. There was also employees that she met a maid in the hallway who got a text that she got fired right there in the hallway, and she started crying and walking out and stuff. So not a good situation all around. And this is obviously a tragic situation, but Marriott promised on Sunday that everybody would get a refund. If you had booked through the Marriott website, through the Marriott portal as a Marriott customer, you would get a refund. That didn't happen. Yesterday, it came out another message. Today is Thursday, so this is the Wednesday, the 12th. There was another message hanging out. So Marriott tells booted guests to beg their credit card companies for a refund. So they said, Marriott kicked guests of Sonder properties abruptly out on Monday. They previously said that they would process refunds for guest stay. And now Marriott is saying that they're not going to give a refund, and that people are asked to charge back to their credit card company. So in the U.S., I would say chargeback is quite common. It's a good safety net for others to do, but in other countries around the world, it kind of isn't. So taking a step back,
it's not even about that, to be honest. It's you put these people out. They don't have a hotel room in New York City, right? You're gonna have to find a hotel $400, $500, $600 a night, and Marriott's not willing to help. Everything that I've seen is that they're willing to reprice it at whatever the current rack rate is, but they're not willing to transfer the current rate that you had at the Sonder over to something else. I'd have to think if this happened, for example, to Hyatt. I kind of know similar instances where hotels been overbooked, whatever. Hyatt kind of bends over backwards. We're going to put you somewhere else. We're going to compensate you. We're going to match the rate, whatever. Just this seems, I don't even know if I want to say unusual from Marriott, but I went to their member day 2 months ago, and they were all about how they care for guests and how they always want to do the right thing. And then you sort of see this, and it's not even about the chargeback. You just got people that don't have a room for the night, which I think is the
Right.
bigger concern.
Yeah, if we go back to that in the beginning, so this ambassador person called the ambassador line. So for those who don't know what an ambassador is, Marriott ambassador is their top tier, meaning you have to spend $23,000 a year with Marriott in order to get that status, and 100+ nights. It's a substantial feat to get to that. I would say that that's an important client, wouldn't you say, Jamie?
Sure.
So she called the ambassador line, and it's not just her, it's everybody. And she was told, happy to reprice you at a Residence Inn. So
Right.
they literally, and they didn't reprice anything. They offered to book her at a Residence Inn at whatever rate was available on the website, much higher than she
Right.
booked a long time ago, of course.
Right.
So what I would expect Marriott to do is to, at least, so when an airline goes out of business, remember when Play went out of business, or any airline that we've seen going out of business, which happens every once in a while, right?
Right.
The other carriers are stepping in to kind of try and help, meaning
Right.
that they offer, people who are stuck somewhere and can't get home and stuff like that. People who are standing in Times Square, kicked out of a hotel, which is literally what happened here. They have
Sure.
gotten some help. So I feel like they should at least match the rate
Yes.
for whatever days people have left
Right.
in the state. I can't imagine that is a big loss for Marriott. So
Or
I
if
think
you
that,
can do that for whatever IT reason, yada yada, issue enough points for somebody to be able to book a hotel down the street. And I know, for example, Hyatt has done that personally for me. They said they couldn't match the rate. I get it, right? Hotels are different, they're owned by different people. Then they just provide enough points for you to walk down the street and book that similar hotel.
yeah, I feel like the way that it was handled and people are saying, oh, it's not Marriott, it's Sonder, right? Well,
Right.
is it really though? When I find a supplier, right? It's literally is that if what I feel like to the client or to the customer, to the guest, it's irrelevant. It's literally when a flight's delayed because of whatever the case may be. It's like them blaming Boeing or whoever made the seat or whatever for the delay, even if it's not related at all. If you are a company like Marriott, you sign a contract. I'm sure there must be some sort of due diligence here. Should we make a contract and make thousands of or tens of thousands of hotel rooms available on our website and put our logo on it, because the logo says Sonder by Marriott under it? Could that be misunderstood that Marriott has, they're just a third party?
Right.
No, I don't think so. I think when I book something on Marriott's website, I trust that I'm going to be taken care of. And this is, of course, a unique situation, but there are a lot of people that were having all sorts of problems. Like thousands of people were on property. I get it. It sucks that your future reservations have been canceled. That happens. There are hotels all the time that change the flag. They go from Hyatt to Marriott or whatever, other way around, and they're leaving and they send you an email saying that we're not affiliated with Hyatt anymore. That's completely different. You have a choice of staying home or cancel the trip or find something else in advance, or go and book something a little bit more expensive. That's a choice that you have. People here are standing in Times Square and they don't have anywhere to go. Right. So I'm not buying the whole thing that, it's blaming somebody else. You made the contract with these guys. The contract with Sonder was written by Marriott executives. They have made money from a percentage of this revenue throughout the time that the contract has gone. And when this relationship went south, I would say that at least a week, right? Or a couple of days, so people have it. And also, like you said, there are many places so you can change a lever to saying that, okay, so that Residence Inn down the street for the ambassador lady that had a really good follow-up online, that she has okay, so the Residence Inn is 70,000 points a night. You are there for 5 more nights. There you go. That's whatever, 200,000 points, which is nothing for Marriott. I think that's the goodwill here has. So what do you think? What happens next? So people are going to charge back to get their money back, and that means that the bill, the float, this failed relationship will be up to the credit card companies and the consumers to pay for.
Yeah, they're trying to pawn off the blame. They're trying to pawn off the liability, and I mean, who knows if some of these places are going to try to fight it? You may have some of these. I don't know who these individual properties are owned by, but they, in theory, could try to fight it to keep some of the money. I don't know where this is going to go, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that it's fair to say that in conclusion, we're not going to ramble on about this. My opinion here is Marriott has failed catastrophically on this, and this is not somebody that I would trust. I would strongly suggest that people reevaluate how they book things, because guess what? Almost 99% of all Marriott hotels are franchise. That means that they could pull the same thing over and over again.
Right.
So buyer beware. Is that a good thing? Way we should end this?
You put a lot of trust into these huge corporations and chains, and you don't think something like this is going to happen. But yeah, for sure, buyer beware.
That's the Miles and Points report for this week. Tommy Danielsen signing off, and enjoy your day.